us. Today is December 18th, 2025, and this is our 9 o'clock Fiscal Court meeting. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty, and I believe we have a blessing this morning. Mr. Rome, would that be you?
Yes, sir.
I figured it was. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is David Rome. I represent the Frankfurt Interfaith Council. I'm a member of the Frankfurt Interfaith Council, where I represent the Baha'i Faith. O God, my God, cast upon this gathering the glances of thy loving kindness. Keep safe each and all in thy custody and under thy protection. Send down upon these souls thy heavenly blessings. Immerse them in the ocean of thy mercy, and quicken them through the breath of the Holy Spirit. O Lord, bestow thy gracious aid and confirmation upon this just government. This country lieth beneath the sheltering shadow of thy protection, and this people is in thy service. O Lord, confer upon them thy heavenly bounty, and render the outpourings of thy grace and favor copious and abundant. Suffer this esteemed nation to be held in honor, and enable it to be admitted into thy kingdom. Thou art the powerful, the omnipotent, the merciful, and thou art the generous, the beneficent, the Lord of grace abounding.
Thank you very much. Alrighty, now we're going to open it up to public comment. Is there any public comments? Please state your name.
Good morning, members of the court. I'm Penny Peebler, the Executive Director of Develop Frankfurt, previously known as Kentucky Capital Development Corporation. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I have distributed to you a resolution which was passed by our board and presented to the Frankfurt City Commission. I am asked to come in and present this to you to update you on this request that we've made of the city as part of the design guidelines for the new Frankfurt Convention and Meeting Center. As you know, our organization has been updating deeds and covenants, and we have all met together with the board of the Franklin Anderson Industrial Authority to put forth environmental responsibility on all of the projects that we are undertaking. And so this particular resolution relates to the new Frankfurt Convention and Meeting Center, and the request is specifically related to the stewardship of our natural resources, climate, resiliency, and design practices that reduce long-term operating costs. But as we anticipate the new convention center may have a large expanse of glass, we are specifically requesting and encouraging the use of bird-safe glass as part of the design standards. Over 1 million birds a year are killed by glass, and many convention and meeting centers around the country are being designed with new bird-safe glass, or as they renovate, having glass replaced. As you know, Frankfurt is part of the North-South Migratory Bird Pathway. We have a very active Audubon Society here, and so we felt that it was important to put forth a continued effort as the organization charged with job growth and development of the community in all aspects, that we would bring these greetings to the City Commission, and we wanted to bring them to you to keep you abreast of those efforts. So I bring you the resolution by way of information, and I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Your support.
Appreciate it. Yep.
All righty. Other public comments, please come forward. If you don't mind, state your name so everybody knows who you are, even though we know who you are.
Judge Mueller, Deputy Judge Kennedy, members of the Fiscal Court. I'm Jim Jackson. I have with me John Heltzel, and we're 10-plus years members of the Franklin County Emergency Food Pantry, and we're here to give a huge thank you to this group. And let John speak here.
Yeah, it's good to see a lot of you all today. It seems like just a few days ago I got to see you. I want to just set the stage. Jim's going to cover the background, but big thank you from us for all you all did. I don't think everybody realizes it, but this was the most successful food drive, Cram the Cruiser, in the history of the pantry. It was one of the most successful food drives across all of the KSP posts, and you all should be happy to know with your support, your direct support, we're the only community in the state that involves all of our local law enforcement and emergency services this time as well, Mike. Thanks for that, to pull together for this drive. We collected over 26,000 pounds of food, which is going to steady us for the first several months of this next year. But again, from all of us at the pantry and all of you all for what you did, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to say, Sheriff Depp, I think you're in the room. Your officers and folks were outstanding. There were several times I'd stand there, get ready to take the food, Kelly, and they would walk right by me because they were adamant the food was going to the deputies. I don't know where they wanted the deputies to remember their face or what. But again, and one person, I mean, all of them were tremendous. I mean, friendly, worked their tails off. But one of your officers, CSO, Megan Lewis, she was there for 6 hours. And we kept trying to get her to take a break, but she would take food, she was sorting it, and she was just tremendous. And she'd say, "Oh, I love this." So anyway, just a great response. And I think as John just indicated, not only we had close to 30, he had 26, but our schools gave an additional 4,000. Just tremendous. And we had nearly over 5,000 of just people literally handing us cash. And so I just think it's tremendous. Give you some sense, though, we have no paid volunteer. We're all volunteers. It took over 100 people to pull off this week, 3-day weekend, and you folks played a big role in that. And I don't think you can ever underestimate what your presence means to the rest of us. Because when you're there, we even get more motivated because we see our county leaders weighing in and taking a part of something that's critical. And I think we all know housing and food. Is there anything more important? So anyway, John and I just want to thank you. Appreciate it very much. We hope you've already got it on your calendar for next year. So thank you very much, Judge.
Gentlemen, we just want to say thank you to you all. Like you said, Jim, you're all volunteers, and that speaks volumes, especially in the crazy times we're in right now. So I just want to thank you all and all your volunteers for what you do year-round. It's not just this time of the year, and I think that's important for people to realize that what you all do is all year long. So hopefully we can get the word out and continue to support everybody as we need to. So thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Yep. Any other public comments? Already seeing none. That's the road department. Believe they're going to give an update. Mr. Dees is with us. Good morning, sir.
Morning, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It's pretty good. Past couple of weeks been pretty busy for us. It's been
What y'all been doing?
a little bit of this and that. We're winding
Mowing
up.
grass? I mean,
Yeah, we're mowing some grass. We're winding up on leaves this week. Next week will be the final cleanup for that. And then, as y'all know, snow and repairing snow trucks.
how is that? I see a couple pictures up there. I like the visuals, so thank you. I'm assuming our 2 new trucks are in action?
Yep, everything's working.
Everybody's good,
Yep.
good on that? We talked a little bit about salt. I think the court's always interested in the salt. You want to talk a little bit about what you think you've already used and what's on order and what we're sitting on?
I'm going to say if we had around 2,200 ton when I come in, we've probably used half of that. And we've got another 14 ordered. 8 of it's coming in today, and then probably after Christmas, the rest of it will come in.
And so then you should be back around, what, 2,500?
Probably
Tons, something like that.
2,300 tons,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Alrighty. So just a reminder, court, on average, we usually use about 2,200 for a whole winter. So, it hit us a little hard and fast this year. So hopefully it'll lay down on us a little
Which
bit.
we've already had 3 snow events in
Yeah.
December, and most of the time it don't start till January.
Right, so just wanting the court to be aware of that, just in case, we have to do something on salt, but I appreciate you all, appreciate everything you've done. I mean,
Yes, sir.
I've never had so much praise, I think, from a road department. I had a meeting the other night and was in for sales actually, and I'm like, it's always nice when I go out of town, because nobody's gonna talk to me, right, and I didn't even make it in a restaurant, and a couple stopped me on the street corner and said, Judge Mahler, we live in Frankfurt. I said, okay, but it was all about just, I was like, this is great. But it was all about how great of a job our road department's doing, and they wanted to take the time to stop me and tell me, thank you. So I
We
just want to reach
appreciate
out
that,
to
and
you
as
all.
you guys know, being a department head, you're only as good as your crew is.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
we've got an outstanding crew
Yep.
down there.
Anybody have anything go ahead.
I just want to say, Fourth District, I usually get calls about what's not done, what hasn't been done. I got nothing but calls of thank you, appreciate it, extend to the road department. And I said, I have nothing to do with it, it's all on them, but I will definitely pass along what I hear.
Yep.
Y'all did a great job.
We appreciate it.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I'm going to shift gears here a little bit to asphalt. It's my understanding the blacktop plant's going to close tomorrow.
Yep.
Because the last big project they have to work on is I-64 and that ramp at Shelbyville. Supposed to finish that tomorrow and blacktop plant will close. So everyone needs to understand that we're going into patching season.
Yes.
There won't be any paving now until the spring and the blacktop plant reopens. So I'm going to go ahead and thank you for some patching that you've done out in the First District, because it's been sorely needed on a road that is behind schedule to get paved, but the interstate comes first.
Well, I think
before
we're
the
gonna be
county roads.
better off to
So-
wait till spring anyway,
Yes, sir.
because you would really want to do
Absolutely.
it.
Yes, sir. So, just so everybody understands,
Yeah.
it's now time to just cold patch everything. So,
All righty. Mike, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
y'all.
it.
Have a good Christmas.
You too. The next is the jail. Unfortunately, the jailer is sick. She texted us in the middle of the night. She has a fever, and we're gonna kick that. But I do want to call attention. Jenny, is it still hanging? Jenny hung it yesterday. So the wreath in front of us here was made by the Sapsor ladies at the jail. So Wilson Nurseries came in and did a clinic, and so I thought that was super cool that they had us come up yesterday. Wanted them to come down here to do it, but they can't because of regulations. But it was very nice that they made one for us. And I did ask, I said, what are you gonna do with all the other wreaths that everybody made? You know, there's 40-some people there. And they said that they're gonna be, like, for instance, the senior center. I think they'll probably give one because they're out there helping volunteers. So I think they're gonna be presenting them to the organizations that kind of support the program. So I just want to share that with everybody since the jailer couldn't be with us today. Next, I believe our sheriff, Sheriff Dwayne Depp, is with us and brought an amazing staff with him. Look at everybody. I see Rick hiding over there, yeah. Sheriff, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine, Judge, thank you. Good
Great.
morning.
Thanks for being with us.
If I may, I wanted to first start out like I typically do and say thank you to you and the court for your continued support. As you know, that the Sheriff's Office has went through a huge transition over the year 2025 with our previous sheriff retiring and, of course, me being appointed as sheriff. I know we don't have a whole lot of time here today, but I do think it's important for not only the court to know, but the citizens of Franklin County to know, like, what we've been doing in 2025 and some of the accomplishments that our staff has made and some of the things that we've done throughout the community. As you can see with me, I brought some of our staff with me today. Some people may look at them as my backup, but I actually see myself as their backup. They're I'm the face of the Sheriff's Office, but those folks are the people that really do the work, that do a lot of things that make us successful. So I thought it would be fitting to have them come with us today and join us in sharing some of the things that we've done here at the Sheriff's Office. Big thank you to our former Sheriff, Chris Squire. He done a lot of amazing things here in Franklin County for the last 6.5 years. And I can tell you that our Sheriff's Office would not be where it is today if it was not for the work that he had done with the Sheriff's Office. Just to give you a little bit of background, just for folks who don't know, we've got 56 employees at the Sheriff's Office. So in sheriffing world, we're a fairly large Sheriff's Office. There's some Sheriff's Office across the state that may only have 2 or 3 people, and that's including the sheriff. So to have 56 employees and the support we have from the community, the support we have from the Fiscal Court, it makes a huge difference in what we can produce and the safety things that we can provide for our community. So we're going to start out. Andrew, if you can go to the next slide, please. Just wanted to show that, and Judge, I wanted to say to you personally, thank you for the appointment. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that we're keeping the citizens of Franklin County safe, and we feel like we've been doing that, and we're going to continue to do that. The first person I'm going to bring up that's going to talk a little bit about our operational side of the house, because the Sheriff's Office, we're kind of divided up in different sides or different divisions, if you will. A lot of people may see us just as going out and writing tickets and taking care of that kind of business. We're going to demonstrate to you today that the Sheriff's Office is much more than what we do on the side of the road, or us writing tickets or arresting folks or serving papers. There's a lot of things that happen at the Sheriff's Office. So I'm going to bring our Chief Deputy up, Captain Daniel Wills. He's going to talk about the operational side of the house and what we've done and some of our accomplishments. And then we'll bring up a few other people, because I want to be able to introduce them to the court and to our citizens of Franklin County. Chief Wills.
Good morning, Court.
Morning.
Okay, some of our partners that we have a full-time traffic grant program that's funded 100% by Kentucky Office of Highway Safety Administration. We have a deputy that's on the DEA task force. He brings in resources to the office. The Franklin County Public School System, they allow us to have 13 full-time and 1 part-time deputy in our schools. And I think that's just amazing. From talking to around the state, we have a marshal that comes in from time to time that shares the progress and how our school resource officers are doing in our schools, and he puts us up here above. He says we have a fantastic crew. We have a deputy that is on Frankfort's TRU, in which that saves the county tax dollars. We don't have to have our own team. We have a joint team that we're part of that we can call.
What is TRU, just so
It's a Tactical Response Unit. You may not know, but yes, that's, quick response to an active situation that's just tremendous for the community. We have staff members assigned to the County Board of Elections to make sure everything goes as planned and helps out there. Staff members assigned to the Kentucky 911 Board, representing the Kentucky Sheriff's Office Association, which I'm the one that sits on that board. And KSP, International Crimes Against Children Task Force. And I'll explain a little bit more about that when I get into my slides and presentation. Okay, Andrew? Okay, I'm going to talk about a few of the things that the office has done other than just police work. So far this year, to date, from January 1 to now, we have done 3,076 vehicle inspections, whether that be at the office or going out in the community and doing actual vehicle inspections at the homes. We have served 3,337 summonses, whether it being at the office or our deputies going out in the community actually serving those summonses. We've also completed 601 concealed carry deadly weapon applications, which is process starts at our office and goes over to KSP and then comes back to our office to where we hand out the actual license to the individual. These services are provided by our front office staff as well as our road units and CSOs and SROs. Everybody is trained and has the ability to do those. Okay, next slide. Okay, calls for service and fee service from January 1st to December 15th. Like I said, our deputies have answered 10,768 calls for service. That's a lot of calls, I feel like. And in those calls, 519 were non-injury accidents here in the county, and 179 of those, or 179 also included is injury accidents. So that's a lot of wrecks here in our community. Our road units, we have made over 2,000 traffic stops for violations in the community. That does not include our traffic unit that is solely out writing tickets. That is just our road guys in between taking calls and doing other services have issued or made over 2,000 traffic stops this year. And like I said, I've already spoke on the paper service and summons. Next slide. Okay, We're going to talk a little bit about our Criminal Investigations Unit. This year, we've assisted the Kentucky Office of the Attorney General with investigation on a child production pornography case. We assisted KSP with 2 homicides, and during those where we helped KSP, we helped them initiate the search warrants and collecting evidence. This year, our detectives joined, like I said, the KSP International Crimes Against Children Task Force. This has resulted in numerous sex abuse and sexual assault cases. One case was over 30 years old and resulted in a guilty plea to multiple charges, including first-degree rape, sex abuse first, and first-degree sodomy. Next slide. Next slide, Andrew. Okay. And then our Flat Creek investigation. Our office has also worked 2 homicides this year. The Dustin Fields case, he was charged with arson first, 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of torture of a dog. This was a very complex case investigated that involved the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, KSP, ATF, Franklin County Coroner, State Fire Marshal, Franklin County Fire Department, and the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. And others, they assisted us, and we couldn't be where we were if we didn't have our partnerships with this case. Next slide. Okay, Criminal Investigations Unit. We investigated 2 elaborate scams where local citizens were victims. The losses to our citizens were over $100,000. This required weeks of investigation, but we identified the scammers and made arrests in both cases. And we are seeking restitution for both of those victims. Okay, next slide. Okay, we were able to, or we've actually had 3 deputies that were awarded different awards throughout the year for their hard work and accomplishments here. Here you see Deputy Junius McMillan. He was recognized for the DUI award from the Kentucky National Highway Safety. Next slide. Here we have Deputy Dallas Wills. He was recognized for the Occupant Protection Award, which is known as the Seatbelt Award for the county. Okay, next slide. Okay, and here's a big one. We have a deputy that's on the DEA task force, and task force received, or our deputy received an award from the Federal Prosecutor's Office for his achievements. The AGEOs have focused on Mexico-based money laundering and drug trafficking organization affiliated with the New Generation Jalisco Cartel and the Sinaloa Cartel. The amounts of money and drugs seized are staggering. In Operation Rapido de Nero alone, 73 firearms were removed from the street, a large sum of cash, 68 kilograms of fentanyl, 515 kilograms of cocaine, 89 kilograms of heroin, and 1,741 kilograms of methamphetamine were seized. In the Eastern District alone, 56 defendants were indicted in the Rapido de Nero and sentenced to more than 25 years in federal prison. 5 of the most culpable defendants have pending extraditions from Mexico. 9 have been extradited or pending for Mexico to face charges in the Eastern District. Next slide. Okay, as you see, some of these are just pictures of the drugs that have been seized from the DEA with the help of our detective. The FCSO deputies work closely with surrounding agencies as well as federal agencies in our pursuit to remove illicit drugs from the streets in Franklin County. These working relationships have removed millions of dollars from people associated with cartels, as well as taking very large amounts of drugs out of the hands of dealers. Next slide. Okay, and I've talked about the TRU, which is SWAT training that's partnered with FPD Tactical Response Unit. Like I said, this saves tax dollars when partnering and combining agencies' resources. Safer, faster response for Franklin County residents. Next slide. Okay, community events. This is kind of, the stuff that, kind of breaks up the day-to-day. We are able to get out in the community. We hosted I think it's our 5th annual fishing derby this year with students out at the game farm. I believe we had 24 kids that came out. I know many of you came out and assisted us and helped us this year, but We taught the kids how to fish safely and not hook their friends and partners or us. We provided pizza, and it was just a great day for us to get out and be with the children. We worked the back to school bash. Here you can see our fishing derby, and like I said, many of you are in these pictures, and we want to thank you all for that. That means a lot to these kids when we're able to get out with them and share our time. So next, okay. We've got, like I said, here's some of our events we've participated throughout the year. Cram the Cruiser, which we heard about earlier. This month's been very busy with Cram the Cruiser, the Salvation Army ringing the bell. We went this past weekend and did Shop with a Cop. I think we had 75 families that the Frankfort Police Department and the Franklin County Sheriff's Office joined together to do this, and that was very rewarding for all of us. And then that's kind of some of our highlights for 2025. I want to talk about two little things that mean a lot to me that we're looking forward to in 2026. We will be teaching DARE again in our schools. And then we're going to talk about a new program that we've talked with officials with the school system, and we're going to talk about Eddie Eagle. That's gun prevention, hopefully to get the kids started early in the elementary school, hearing about gun safety, and hopefully to prevent some of the juvenile violence that we're seeing. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have of what I've talked about or anything you would like to know.
Daniel, before we move on, I know Sheriff's getting ready to get up and hand it off, but I want to thank you personally for the KSU shooting.
Okay.
Y'all were on spot. You were there when it happened. You were there days after. You're still there. I think you all have officers on the campus daily. I just want to say thank you, because I know you had a big part of that, so thank you.
Appreciate
Squire
it.
Dykes?
I just want to say thank you. I don't think that and I don't think I knew before I joined the court how much you guys do out in our community, and I appreciate it very much.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
All right, what we're going to do now, we're going to transition over to what we do inside the office. And Judge, I know time's limited, but I really think this is really important. It's going to be short and sweet, I promise you.
Is my face showing it? Or
Yeah,
what?
I can see it.
I thought I was doing pretty good up here. I'm like,
I can see it. But
no, I love it. I love it. I do. But thanks for calling me out.
I do think these other things are really, you'll know next time, yes. I do think these things are really, really, really important. We have an office staff that's absolutely amazing that very seldom gets any credit. And they're the folks that, collect the taxes. They meet people when they come into the office for services. They answer the phones. They do a lot of different things. And so have to be accountable for millions and millions of dollars that we collect. So Michelle Pfister is our office manager and our bookkeeper. She's going to come up and maybe just say a few words about what they do and how they do it. And we've got a couple of people here with us that have been the face of the sheriff's office for many, many, many years that I think it's appropriate that we at least recognize.
Absolutely.
All right?
Yep. Now, Michelle, when I heard you were going to speak today, that's all I've been looking forward to. So our hopes are high. No pressure.
Judge Court, thank you for having me here. I'm sorry that if you're in a hurry.
I'm not in a hurry. Hey, we're here all day, all night.
I have
It's all
all
good.
of these things, so I hope you brought your lunch. Thank you all for having us. It's important for us to be here. Andrew, if you don't mind to go to the previous slide, I just want to talk, just say a few words about our community partners that help us tremendously throughout the year with some of the things that we do, like trunk or treat, feeding families. Traditional Bank has been wonderful to us. They help us with Easter at Lakeview. Our trunk or treat that we partner with the Frankfort Police Department. The list goes on and on. Our community events are endless. And Walmart has recently joined us and helping. They have been phenomenal. I do want to point out that Mr. Henry, who is the manager at Kroger, is also a great partner with us, and he works with Chief Wills a lot on feeding families when we have those needs. So I do want to say thank you to those people. We also have a private citizen
that helps us each year with some of those events, and we couldn't do it without those people. So I do want to publicly thank them. And if I may just have the floor for a few minutes, I wanted to bring a couple of people that are very important to not only the county, but for our office, and I want to introduce them, if you all would come up. Come on, Ann.
Yes,
Yeah,
it sure
so-
is.
I want to introduce, this is Ann Bohannon. Ann has worked at the Sheriff's Office since 2008. Her primary responsibility is the paper service that comes in our office from the courts, and you'll see that in another slide. Ann is there sometimes before anybody else. Sometimes she's there after we leave. Pop in on the weekends, and she's there on weekends and holidays. She touches every paper that comes through that office, from the court system to the deputies, back from the deputies, back to the court system, and she primarily does 95% of that. She's the sweetheart of the office, but I just want to recognize Ann for all of her dedication. She came from kind of a public service job as well, so they greet a lot of people, see a lot of faces. It's not always on their best days or even the citizens' best days, but they always make this front office work at the Sheriff's Office. And next is Mary Jo Sullivan. She's probably the first face that you see and maybe the first voice that you hear when you come in the office. But she has a long background from public service. She came from Kentucky State Police, where she proudly served for 37 years. So she's no stranger to public service either. And just some of the things that we do in the front office, our vehicle inspections. Of course, I mentioned Ann in the paper service. Mary Jo's our CCDW license expert. They also are in charge of getting, evictions and sit-outs for the deputies to serve. They produce accident collision reports, calls for service. Sometimes they're the dispatcher. We may have to transfer them on to our emergency dispatch, but sometimes people just want to call and talk to somebody, and we do. Sometimes we're mental health counselors over the phone. But tax collection. We have a very small staff that processes a lot of money, which you all are well aware of. And I can't say enough. We're there sometimes before daylight, after dark, and I just wanted to thank you all for all the hard work you do, and the office couldn't function without you. So thank you all, and I know you all have to get back to the office because we're not sure who's in charge right now, and they may mess something up. So I just wanted to publicly and introduce you all and thank you all for all your hard work.
Well, we couldn't do it without you, Michelle.
Well, I appreciate that.
To her horn too.
Oh, well, thank you.
We're going back to work.
So I will try to keep this brief. I can go on.
Oh, you're still
I
going?
could,
That was kind of like the end,
no. Now I'm just going to talk
Now
all
you're on
day.
a roll.
Yeah.
The shyness went away, so.
Yeah.
already.
So shy I'm not. Public speaking not my best suit. But I also want to acknowledge one of our admin slash mechanics slash IT professionals, Gail Woods, also known as Whitey to some in the community. He started his career at the Sheriff's Office in 1982. He may be watching. I just want to point out that I was 10 years old. So there is nothing, he's also a sworn deputy. So you may see him collecting taxes. You may see him under a car. You may see him, we never know. But if you need something, he's always there. He's always willing to help. He may grumble at us a lot, but he's always a very important part of our admin staff, and I just wanted to thank him too, as well as our evidence technician, Randy Harris. Randy has a very important role in keeping all of our evidence and everything where it should be, but he took on extra hours this year to help us up front in the office with tax collection, which was wonderful to have him there with us, as well as our, of course, Chief Wills also, and our detectives. They never let us go without a lunch. They always checked on us for breaks and made sure that we were well, and Alicia Barnes helped. She still continues to come over and help us, so I wanted to say those thank yous to those people that have truly been instrumental in this year's tax collection. And I hope I don't leave anybody out. That's why I don't like public speaking, so if I have to review my notes, I apologize in advance. Andrew, if you want to go to the next screen. Community outreach, we're not just the administrative office. We're not just 8 to 4:30. You'll see in this photo, this is Lindsay Pfister, also my daughter. She is the little ray of sunshine at the office on our bad days. She keeps us on our toes. She's young and a go-getter, and she's the first one to the front counter and the first one to answer the phone, and we appreciate all of her hard work. And you'll see that sometimes she's in the dog costume because I'm aging, and sometimes I just don't feel like getting in Frankie and going to the schools and the community events. So I appreciate her hard work too, and she couldn't be here today because she's in Panama, so she's where it's warm and sunny, so I wanted to thank her too. So it's not just an 8 to 4:30 administrative position. These are sometimes can be long days and long hours. Let's see, go to the next screen, Andrew, please. So these are our tax collection numbers. This was as of the 16th. You can see that we've taken in a little over $44 million. That's 87%. We had 3,020 remaining tax bills, and the total a little over 50 million. So when you think about this small office that we have, all the people that I mentioned, and I hope that I didn't leave anyone out, because it truly takes our entire office. That's every envelope that comes in, your written tender checked, your signature. We have to send deputies to houses to collect some return checks or get a signature from our elderly community that may have forgotten to sign their check, and sometimes it's, not. So, those things are going to come up, and it truly takes our entire staff, CSOs, everyone has helped during the tax collection, and I can't thank them enough. I also want to, and I hope I don't step on the sheriff's toes, the work, the PVA's office, the county clerk, the jail, it truly takes the court. Amy, thank you. Vicki, for all of your all's hard work. It truly takes the entire county to make this work, and I appreciate you letting the sheriff's office come here today and talk about these things. But before I close, and then I'll stop, Judge, I want to thank the sheriff. He worked our front counter almost the entire tax season collecting taxes. He opened envelopes. He never let us go without a meal or a break. And he never fails to ask us, are you doing okay? Do you need anything from me? And I appreciate your leadership, and Chief Wills, your leadership as well. We couldn't do it without them, and we certainly appreciate the court's continued faith in what we're doing and providing for the community. And I know Max is probably got his timer going off on me, so I will conclude by saying thank you all. I appreciate you letting me have the floor, And if you want to stay longer, I can keep talking about all of the wonderful things that we do, but it is not an 8-hour or 12-hour or 10-hour shift that may be reflected on the payroll, because we truly work. It feels like 24 hours a day, and I mean that from the office staff to the deputies. Our jobs never turn off. I may get a text at 2 a.m. that there's a missing child, and I need to get it on social media and get it out, and then your wheels never turn off, because then we are laying there worrying about, did they find the child? So I want you all to know how hard they work and how important they are to this community and all of the wonderful work that they do. And thank you all for having me.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Sheriff.
All right, Judge. Good look, I like it. So
I'm good.
we do have one more small portion. I think it's important that you guys hear about our school resource officers and what they do. I think that is one of the staples of what we've been able to accomplish over the last 5.5, 6 years by putting a school resource officer in every county school, which is huge. And, you know, that has not been replicated much, if any at all, in the whole Commonwealth of Kentucky. So we're very proud of that. So I have Sergeant Rick Rogers with us, and he's going to come and talk very briefly about school resource officers. And then our hope, as you can see, Judge, is you asked us to do this update. Maybe after we do this update, maybe we won't have to do it next year because we take too long. So, but we'll let Rick do this thing.
I think it's important for everybody to hear all these things.
I'll be very brief. It's nice not to have to ask for a budget amendment or something coming up here. So, we'll just go through real quick. We've got 14 SROs. Our captain, Captain Abrams, he's off. That's why I'm here right now. We have 13 full-time and 1 part-time SRO. 9 out of 13 of us are veterans. We are all retired law enforcement. I'm the youngest one. I take pride in that. But in and amongst that, we have former detectives, police chiefs, lieutenants, captains, retired troopers. So from time to time, they draw on us. If they have something big happen, they call us out and tap into some of those resources. So we go to the next slide. That's some of the old guys.
The old guys and you?
Yeah. Like I said, if you're from this community, you recognize almost every face in there. They're from here, they live here, and this is where they've spent their careers. So a bunch of great guys there. So you can go to the next slide. That's a list. I'm not going to go number by number, but that's what we've been up to since the beginning of the school year. Charges filed by our officers in the schools during their school days. We work with the county attorney's office quite a bit and have to use them, and we use Ashley King quite a bit to work with us in the schools. But it's not a sit around and do nothing job. You know, you stay busy most days. So go ahead. This is some things we do off duty that we don't have to do. We go to their birthday parties, baby showers. That's how much we integrate into the schools. You're a rock star when you go to school. So, you know, most of the time when you're a police officer, you go to somebody's worst day. Yeah. We have a good day every day. It's a great way to finish your career. Band concerts, chorus concerts, all that good stuff. You know, we still keep in touch with some of the graduates. We've helped them with finding jobs, resumes, joining the military, that sort of thing. Tell them the good and the bad with that sort of thing. And we kind of work we got kind of a 4-tier thing that we do, teacher, coach, mentor. And then the last thing we want to be is a cop to these kids. So we try to handle that. The last thing we want to do is take any enforcement action, but we do have to time to time. But that's what we do. We work very close. Superintendent Cott, his central office staff over there, they're amazing. You know, DCBS, county attorney's office, that sort of thing. Everybody works well with us. DCBS, we work hand in hand with him. Maura Wingate, we ring her phone off quite a bit. So appreciate everybody's help. But these are just day-to-day things. This little guy wearing my vest, that's my partner down there, Malachi. He's a great kid. So, any questions or anything? Trying to be quick.
Rick, I just want to say thank you. You know,
you all.
I mean, we talk about this program all the time, and how we are really shining in the state
We
for
are.
being able to have this, and you all are more than just a police officer in that school. You're a mentor, you're a friend. People look up to you, so I also want to thank the school system. I want to thank the Fiscal Court, because, you know, we throw in on the things too, but
do.
y'all
Very
do a great
much.
job. I just want to say thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
One thing I did mention is, there's 3 levels to the SROs, a lot of training to go into, where all of us are at either level 2 or 3, and 3 is the highest you can get. And there's not much turnover at all, because everybody loves the job, so,
Good deal.
thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Yeah.
All right, Andrew, could you go to the last slide, please, just the very last one, and I'll end this real quick. Yes, that slide there. Judge, thank you for giving us the opportunity to come and speak and talk about what we do. As you can see, we could probably spend another hour or so talking about what we do, how we do it, why it's important. I think sometimes it gets lost in the weeds about all the things that the Sheriff's Office does and all the things that we're responsible for. One of the last things I wanted to talk about is just the flood impact. Our deputies spent many hours with the flood and with families who were affected by the floods. Spent a lot of time down in the Big Eddy area. I personally was down there quite a bit. You know, my heart goes out to those families. Hopefully they're in the process of recovering and working their way to a better place. But the last thing I wanted to end with, I wanted to ensure the court, and I wanted to ensure the folks that might be listening or watching that in case of a natural disaster or a huge emergency, or say if we had an active shooter out in the county or something along those lines, I wanted to make sure that you all knew that we are very well equipped, very well trained, prepared and ready to take on a big issue that happens out in the county. We've worked really hard to develop our partnerships with the federal, local, and state agencies, and that we are very confident if there was something that happened in the county, that your Sheriff's Office will be able to manage it, will be able to handle it, and bring it to a good resolution considering the disaster or the emergency that we have in hand. I think it's important for the court to know that. I think it's important for our citizens to know that. We appreciate the support that we get from the court, and not only the court, but the staff of county government has always been very helpful. I can't speak enough about Tracy Hopper and the jailer. They came out and they painted our building for us, the interior of our building. They do the snow removal, they mow our grass, they take care of all those things. The road department's always very happy to come out and help us and assist. Max in his office. I mean, I could go on and on about the relationships that we have, but we really thank you all for all that you provide and what you do for us. And I'll open it up if there's any questions. I'm sure I'll be back many more times if there are no questions, but I just wanted to say thank you for what you do for us.
Squire Tanner.
I don't have any questions, but I got 3, well, maybe one of them is a question. Do you have any openings? Number 1, sound like it'd be a great place to work. Number 2, whenever you go to the schools to talk about gun safety, you might want to talk about driving safely too, because of 519 crashes here, so that was something that you could think about we could get better at.
Sure.
Obviously. And the other thing, when we talked a little bit about, you talked a little bit about the DEA connections, and y'all have and how much drugs had been confiscated somewhere around here.
Yes,
I don't know
sir.
where they come from. I know that the health department is not involved in that, but they save lives every day with the needle swap exchange, and that's a great success, and it all works together. This community is a great place.
Thank you, Squire.
Yes.
Sheriff, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Months ago, when the previous sheriff handed me that envelope, it was a lot of pressure.
It was.
A lot of pressure. I'm thinking, man, what am I going to do? But I think you all just saw right there, I picked the right guy.
Thank you.
By far, you are a leader. You do an amazing job. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Squire Wisman.
Judge, I just wanted to thank the sheriff. We've had 2 murders this year that were in my district, 1 at the end of last year, and one again just a couple of weeks ago, and all of those have been unfortunately in my district. And your all's response and especially your staying late and being willing to have some community conversations has been really helpful and consoling to a lot of people. Especially the 3 murders on one road within 1 year span in Bald Knob really rocked that community, and it's been something I've heard a lot about, and you all have been really comforting to the community, I guess. So just wanted to thank you for that, because I know those things weigh heavily on all of us on top of all the other things we have to deal with, but those specifically, this over the last year, effectively over the last 13 months.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So.
And not to add any more time, but I think it's important to know that those murder cases that we're talking about, they've all been solved. There's been an arrest made in every single one of them, so we don't have anybody running around, a killer loose or anything along those lines. It's important for everybody to know that our detectives did the work they needed to do along with our road deputies. We were able to make arrests on every single one of those cases, and they're all pending in court, and we'll see what the outcome is.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sheriff.
Sheriff, if you, all of those have been domestic situations.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And could you just quickly speak maybe to one other thing that you have maybe shared with Max's office and some of the resources available to the community if they're having problems? Where can they reach out to? Just
Absolutely.
point out.
Absolutely. Ashley King is on our staff right now, and she's been, not our staff, but on Max's staff, or on county government staff, let me say it that way. And she's been a huge resource for the county. Bringing her on was definitely a really good decision. But I think it would start probably if there are resources that people need in our community. They can always reach out to the sheriff's office. We can get them to the right place, and or reach out to the county attorney's office with Max and Ashley, and then we'll be glad to do anything in our power to help our fellow Franklin County and get to a better place, whether it be food, housing, resources, drug addiction, anything that they may need. We're open and ready and willing to assist.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
All righty, now we're going to move on to the judge's report. Penny, before you slide out of here, I'm going to add this too. I want to say thank you to Penny, Economic Development. We are over 300 jobs created this year in Franklin County. So I just want to say thank you to Penny and all the work she does for our economic development. We haven't had job creations like that in 30 years probably. So it's impressive. So, and we love working with you. So before I saw you sneaking out. I just wanted to start the judge's report off with that.
Thanks to all of you.
Yeah.
Because it's a joy to work with each and every one of you, and you're always there for me, for advice and help, and it is a team.
Yep.
So yes, I'm off to a workforce development meeting with Squire Sebastian, don't we say? So,
Perfect. All righty. Thank you, Penny.
thank you, everybody.
All right, take care. All righty, I'm going to buzz through mine. On the 4th, went to the Women's in Network. It's a chamber event. Typically, it's a monthly meeting only for females in our community, but once a year, they invite us males. It was a lot of people, and they gave out some really good community awards. It was a great event at J. Manley Distillery, so I appreciate all their support. Next is a really big one. Actually, Sheriff and I talked about this yesterday on TV, was the Boys and Girls Club ribbon cutting. Some of you all were there. I just want to say thank you to the court for helping provide that building. We're going to be making differences in kids' lives for many years, and I appreciate everybody's support in that, and they're doing big things, but it's finally up and running. I think they really focus on like ages 6 to 12. Those kids, I think there's about 80 in the program right now. They already could use a bigger facility, so just want to just throw that out there. And they all, if anybody's looking to donate money at the end of the year, all these organizations need help. So, if your business has done well this year, it's not too late. Let's try to get some of these nonprofits some help. And we have a lot of them doing a lot of good things. Cram the Cruiser, most of us participated in that. I don't think I need to probably talk too much about that. I appreciate Jim and John coming this morning to talk on that. That was a great event. Christmas parade, most of us did together, walked in it. It was a great event. I even sent thank yous to the radio station and to the plant board. They did an amazing job. And I think it was actually, Squire Tanner was there too. I guess he's not in that picture. But it was a huge crowd, thousands of people. So it's getting better every year. Frosty 5K was at Lakeview Park. It was on a Sunday, the 7th. Great event as always, over 100 runners. I do want to say a special thank you to Debbie Brown and Mary Ann Birch. It was our last year doing it. They have kind of handed the torch over to Alda and Reina that own and run Mama Machitas. So from this point on, it's going to go towards the mission in Honduras. So that's a great event that's going to keep going. I think it was 10-year anniversary this year. On the 10th and 11th, we did lunch at KSU, just to kind of show support. I do want to let the court know and the community know that we are going to be coming up with at least one day per month that we're going to invite community into the cafeteria to have lunch with the students. So Jenny's working on that now at Dr. Acoplo's office, so I appreciate that. So that's, be looking for that invite, but it was a big deal when we were up there. It's great. On the 12th, there was a SAP SOAR graduation. Talked a little bit about that earlier, but can't say enough good things about what's going on in the jail right now. And those ladies, I think there's 46 out of 48 that are in the programs right now, and most of the ones that graduated out of SAP want to go into SOAR already. It's a big commitment. I didn't realize, and if I had this backwards, I apologize, but SAP is the classroom, 6 months, 8 to 4:30 every day, 5 days a week. So it's a big commitment. So then once they get done that, then they can start being integrated back into the community. I also want to thank Shepherd's House. I think they're doing a great job. I appreciate all their support up there. So a lot of good things, and I never thought I'd say good things are coming out of the jail, but here I am doing it. So thank you. Did on a Saturday the 13th, I did National Wreaths Across America Day in Frankfurt. It was a really cool ceremony. I was surprised about how many people were there. It was Boy Scout, Cub Scout, Girl Scout, Brownies, just people from the community. Some friends of mine I haven't seen in 15 years were there from Lexington. They said they don't miss it. So they placed hundreds and hundreds of wreaths on the graves. It was a great thing, and I want to thank everybody who put it on. You know, VFW Post 4075. I mean, it was a great event. That evening, Reverend Whitlock and his church had the Winter Wonderland Gala out there at the KSU Farm. I think they said, Sheriff, what did they say, 186 tickets or so they sold? It was a big event. It was black tie. It was a big deal. So myself and Commissioner Katima. So it was a great event, a lot of fun. You know, they're trying to raise money for the new Life Center. They're trying to build downtown for kids. So there's Reverend Whitlock and his wife. So it's hopefully it will keep getting bigger and better every year. Talk a little bit about the wreath presentation, and then Andrew, do we have a video? I know the fire department's with us today. Did you all? There's the wreaths. There we go. So they got on TV yesterday, right? Yes, sir. Andrew, you going to play it here? This is.
We can try here.
Give it a whirl. See what happens.
Yeah. Just a sec.
So Assistant Chief Mertz was telling me that they were reached to about safety, fire safety in the homes. So is that what it's based on? In case it doesn't play.
We had WKYT, a reporter from WKYT reach out to us about, we had a fire, it ended up being small damage, chimney fire this past week, so they reached out for chimney safety.
Mm-hmm.
So we had our Captain Chris Brown, very well spoken, very well, real good, and he's actually one of the guys that's actually in charge of our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
He talked to the reporter, did an interview about chimney safety, and it's on WKYT.
There it goes.
We're gonna play it right now.
Good deal. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anybody have any popcorn?
That's real magic. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Well, already this winter we've had some bitterly cold temperatures, and it means a lot of people light up their fireplace to stay warm.
Yeah, this week Franklin County Fire and Frankfurt Fire sent several units to a report of smoke in a home. And as WKYT's Mariah Conchito tells us, it's what prompted them to remind people to clean their chimneys.
Early detection and calling 911 as soon as possible are the safest things you can do for your home.
A Franklin County resident was spared extensive damage to their home by doing just this. On Monday, this was the scene as multiple units responded to a fire they say originated in the chimney.
Chimney fires can be extremely extensive as they can extend into spaces that are void spaces, what we call. And these can happen due to the immense amount of heat that comes from the chimney. And even though residents may believe that the fire has been extinguished, there may still be hidden fires in the walls.
Captain Chris Brown with the Franklin County Fire Department says chimney fires start due to a buildup of creosote. Creosote is a tar-like substance that sticks to the inside of a chimney.
Typically, you're going to see ignition of creosote within 15 to 30 minutes. Sometimes people will start the fire, walk away, go do some things, and will heat up everything inside the chimney, come back an hour later and the room's full of smoke. That's a very good sign that you may have a fire in your chimney.
Brown says creosote buildup is caused by burning materials like wet logs or things left unprotected outside.
Some people will put some sort of construction material, small pieces of wood, cardboard, and things like that, and that also will contribute to the buildup of creosote.
Brown says they respond to several chimney fires per year because people forget about one very important thing they should have on their home maintenance checklist.
We may see anywhere from 10 to 15 chimney fires, but just by advocating for annual inspections and cleaning, we hope to help make that number closer to zero.
Brown says a chimney inspection is far less expensive than the damage a fire can leave behind. He says to also make sure your smoke detectors work and that you have a fire extinguisher handy in your home. Mariah Conjito, WKYT.
Great job.
Be
Great job.
alert. Plan for a time
All right.
and a place that you can get away with.
All right.
Be alert.
Yeah, be alert. Okay, that's going to wrap it up, but I do want to hit on one other thing. Sheriff, would you mind coming up for 2 seconds? We briefly talked about this, and I think Squire Sebastian's strategic planning, is that where it came up? About so it's been brought to our attention, we talk a lot about first responders, especially out in the county, and when things like that happen or when the sheriff's department has to go out. And I think we're going to start a campaign about letters on mailboxes being visible. I think a lot of them are worn off. Can you just take like 2 seconds to kind of recap what we had talked about in that meeting the other day?
Yes, sir. Strategic planning meeting earlier this week, it was brought up that, sometimes we respond to residents out in the county where it might be hard to locate that particular residence due to the fact that addresses on the mailbox might be worn off, they might be curled over, they might be missing or peeled off. Driveway or address may not be lit very well where we can actually see it if we go out at certain times of the day or night. So we are going to be pushing a campaign, not only us through the Fiscal Court and with the fire department, about making sure that having a period of time that's kind of designated like every year to check your mailboxes and your entryways just to make sure that your numbering is correct, it's well lit, it's well visible, all those things, because, I can't think of anything, I can think of things that could potentially be worse, but it would not be good if we had to come out for an emergency type situation, the fire department, the ambulances, our sheriff's office, to get there and can't find exactly where we need to be. So we're going to be pushing that when we talk about safety for our residents in Franklin County. Hopefully we can put some things together here pretty quickly that we can get that out to the community so that we can make sure that everybody's safe and that we can get to them as soon as we can.
Good deal. Thank you very much. All righty, that concludes my judge's report. We're going to keep moving then. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments about the minutes from our December 3rd, 2025 meeting? All righty. Seeing none. Oh, everybody's scattered now. Okay, next I believe Sheriff, you're back up. I think you have the next 3 items. I should have left you up there. I'm sorry. So, so first we're going to talk about the State Advancement Program for calendar 2026. Then we'll roll into the lump sum fee for the budget year for calendar year, and then the annual order. So go ahead and let's roll.
Yes, sir. The first one is state advancement. I know the court's very familiar with the state advancement. We participated in this in the last few years. It would give us the opportunity to get a state advancement interest-free from the state government of $400,000. And as I'm sure you know, when we start the year off, we have no money in our coffers as far as budget is concerned. So that money can be used to help pay bills. We never know when we're going to have money coming in or how much money. So that money can be used to help us get a good start for the year, make sure that all our bills are paid, make sure we're not late on any payments. And then we always pay that back, and that has been paid back for the 2025 year.
Perfect. All righty, next. I'm sorry, does the court have any questions on that? It's pretty straightforward, I believe. All righty, next, Sheriff.
Yes, the next thing that I have is our budget that we are presenting before the court. You may notice that there is an increase on our budget. We did everything we could to try to create a continuation budget. However, when we got to thinking and looking at things that we wanted to try to do with the sheriff's office, and not only wanted or needed to do with the sheriff's office, there needed to be an increase. So what you see in front of you is a proposal to increase our budget. I think last year it was $4,810,000, to increase it to $5,149. And keep in mind that these are dollars that the sheriff's office will be spending that comes from fees collected and things that we actually do. We're not asking the court for any money. We're not asking the court to supplement anything. We're just asking to have the authority to be able to spend this money if we needed to.
Okay, and I'm going to ask not just you, but I know our treasurer is with us now. So Amy, you have met with the sheriff on the budget. Are you okay?
Yes, we reviewed it together and, yes, I'm.
Okay, thank you. All righty. Any questions, concerns, comments to the sheriff about the budget that he's presenting right now? Squire Wisman.
Thanks, Judge. Sheriff, can you speak maybe just a little bit about your payroll for next year and what kind of increase you've budgeted for, what percentage or
Absolutely.
whatnot?
We budgeted for a 3% increase for the COLA. We also recognize that our deputies, if you think about it, our deputies work a lot of overtime. There's a lot of calls that we go to that extends our shift almost on a daily basis where there's overtime included. So we factored in that there's overtime costs to not only the 3% that our deputies will need to receive, and then we also budgeted a little bit for payouts, recognizing that, every election year, there's usually a turnover, there's a turnover in people, and if we are, depending on how the election goes, we're looking at, having a significant amount of people that very well may leave the sheriff's office, and we're looking at having to make sure that we have the money to make those payouts if we need to. So that's where all the increase comes from as it relates to payroll.
I'm just going to go ahead and put a stake in the ground, as
Sure.
some of my colleagues say, that I've been looking at our turnover for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years at county staff, generally looking at the departures of every department and where people are ending up and where they're going and what they're ultimately doing, whether it's retirement, and more often than not, it seems like we're having people leave for better opportunities in other communities. So I don't know if you've been directed to the 3% as a standard. It probably has been part of a discussion, but I'm going to advocate that we start looking at a better increase, at least a 4% for everyone in county government for this next year, because I think we're falling behind. And I hope that'll be part of the conversation in January about performance metrics and generally a study of our payroll. But just wanted to go ahead and say if that will affect your budget terribly much, but I wanted to know exactly what you put in and what you calculated for.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, that 3% will certainly help us. Obviously, the law enforcement world, it's pretty competitive. If one agency makes $1 or $2 more than we've seen in the past where people may jump ship and go to that other agency, I am firmly convinced that the reason our turnover is not very high is because how we treat our employees, the things that we do, the work-life balance that we try to project on a daily basis to keep our employees here and keep our employees happy. So, yes, sir, I mean, you're dead on the things that you're talking about. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions, concerns, comments for the sheriff? All right, next sheriff.
Yes, sir. And the next one is just to increase our annual order. I spoke about that just a little bit ago. Our annual order, we're looking at increasing it by $257,912. That money, again, is for our salaries. That money is for payouts. And that money is for any overtime costs that we may incur after we do the COLA.
Okay. All right, I think we're good.
All right.
Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I believe we have on the line Wes Davis with Codell Construction. Wes, you with us?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All righty, thank you for being with us. So can you talk a little bit about, I think this last change order is going to kind of close that project out. Can you just kind of skim it real quick about what it is and anything else you want to tell the court?
Sure. So you should have the final payouts from all the subs with the retainage we were ready to close this out back in February when we turned it over, but Duke, when he was redoing the mechanics building, asked that we wait and finish the paving. So Colston did not get in there to do that till it was 6 months later probably. So we got that all finalized, and there was, at the end of the day, with all the change orders, there was a pretty substantial credit that came back to the job, but we had a change. So the original contract told us to overlay the paving, the asphalt up by the office and mechanics building. But when we went in to saw cut that and get our lines cut, get everything ready, we noticed that there was barely an inch of asphalt on it. So Bob Pelosi, the engineer, came out, looked at it. He and Duke both agreed that we needed to overlay that and put heavy duty pavement. So we ended up putting additional rock, 3 inches of base and 2 inches of surface on that whole area. And we just now finished it up. So we've got all the warranty letters and all that kind of stuff in that packet that was sent to you all. But it did, he also gave a credit back for some of the work he didn't have to do. So Colston had given back over $250,000 roughly on the paving to save the sales tax that the county paid for. So that should be the final bill from us to close everything out. I've had very little calls. There's a few things. The shower didn't work, something with the heat. We've tried to address it and handle those issues as soon as they arise. But I don't know who's in charge there since Duke has left, but if you'll give them my number, we still have warranties on that to uphold, and anything else that comes up, they can reach out to me.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mike Dees, I can get you all together on that. I'm going to ask Amy. I keep waving at her, and she's looking at me like she's not getting out of her seat, so I'm not sure what's going on, Wes. Amy, do you want to say anything? Please, I'm asking you. So you've been very instrumental in this project and running the numbers and working the numbers, and I know it's been up, down, and all around. Anything you want to tell the court about this last pay app, and even maybe, I think we came in under budget, didn't we?
Yes, so you have the final pay app in your court claims today. So all in, we've spent $6,039,508 on this project. We do have some small miscellaneous things, but I'm doing the final draw with this pay app. The remainder will be for the park project. So, yeah, I'm happy that this is finished.
Thank you very much. Any other questions for Wes or Amy while we're on this agenda item?
So, can I ask a question?
You sure can, Squire.
The 6,039,000, that number is, this is not included into it, or is it?
This is all in.
This is in that.
Yep.
Yes.
Good question. Wes, thank you for being on. I know you got a lot going on, and I talked to Mason yesterday. They're hopefully going to start putting lights up out at the park, so we're excited to see that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
If anyone wants to visit the site, just have them come out. We'll give you a tour. But thank you all. Have a good holiday.
You too now, Wes. Thank you. All righty. Next, I believe Erin is here with ER Assist. And good morning, Erin. Before she starts, I'm going to go ahead and let her, she has this next agenda item, but then she has the last one on the agenda that had to be added because of time. So, Erin, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and do both those together so you don't have to get up and down.
That's great, thank you.
Yep.
So the first agenda item is about the title services for the buyout program. So the title services is part of the process that we do go through for NRCS. We put this out for bid 2 times. There were no respondents. So procurement protocol is to then try to negotiate directly with Judge Muller's approval. We did negotiate with McNamara and Jones. They provided their fee schedule, which is appropriate based on the work that will be done, and we are looking for the approval of the court to move forward with this contract.
Aaron, would you mind just for 2 seconds kind of giving a recap of where we are? I know some buyouts were approved. It was put on hold because of the government, the federal shutdown. Can you just very quick Cliff Notes.
Yeah, so we've got kind of two groups. So one group has been approved, and that's about half of the properties that was approved before the federal shutdown. The second group is still in limbo. We do hope to have that approved before Christmas. So that's what we've been told by NRCS. We haven't gotten final approval on that yet, but what will happen is the two groups will merge, and essentially they will become one group once the second group is approved. And so the title services and the environmental analysis and all of the other processes that need to take place will happen to both groups concurrently.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's jump back to this agenda items. Anybody have any concerns, comments, questions on the title search contract? Squire Wisman.
Just, Aaron, could you just speak to the company that was selected here locally? Did we go out and speak to multiple agencies, or was it just selected that one because they do most of the title work in our community?
Well, we pushed it out to multiple within the probably 100-mile radius of here, and with no responses. McNamara and Jones did reach out to us after the closing of the second round, and they said that they were interested, and so we did start negotiations with them based on their interest.
Okay, so they reached out to us directly, so, okay. All right, thanks.
All righty. Aaron, you want to go ahead and jump to this next one?
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is for a resolution that would allow the court to apply for a grant, and this is also for the NRCS program. So we do have in process a grant application for the local share. This is an alternative to that grant, a secondary or backup. This one, however, pays 100% of the local share, whereas the other one does leave a balance for the court to pay. This grant is the Local Government Accountable Development Fund, and we've had some success in Eastern Kentucky securing these funds for NRCS buyout programs. I do recommend moving forward with this because it would it is more specifically for this type of work, and it would also pay more of the local share.
All righty. Any questions for Aaron on this? I just want to say thank you for finding this. It'd be a huge deal. You know, for us not to, you know, to be able to help all of our community out and not take a big financial hit. So that's a plus. So thank you.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Next, I believe Allie. Allie, how are you doing?
Hi, doing well.
Good.
Morning, members of the court. I know we're trying to move quickly. I didn't know if now is an okay time for me to introduce Christine
Absolutely.
really quickly. Okay.
Does she have a speech prepared?
Yes.
5-minute minimum.
She gets here on Thursdays and Fridays from 10 to 2. So this is our EO Corps AmeriCorps member, Christine Argus, and I just wanted her to say hi to everyone.
Hi everybody, my name's Christine Argus. I've seen some of these faces before, but some I haven't. I've been in politics and public affairs for quite a while, but I was always geared more towards the environmental side of things, and I've kind of been waiting for my breakthrough moment, and I feel like this position has offered me that breakthrough moment, and I know that a lot of the AmeriCorps, EO Corps stuff goes through approval here, so I just wanted to say thank you for all that. And prior to this, I interned at KET, which I know makes their way into Frankfort, and I interned at the House of Representatives in DC. So it just feels like a really good stepping stone to be here now.
Very cool. Well, welcome. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Allie, what do you have for us?
All right. What I have today is a request to submit an application for a second hazardous waste event in April. And this is using the remaining grant funds from our October event. And then any remaining costs would be split in half with the city. So let me know if you guys have any questions.
Any questions for Allie on this? I think it's a great thing. Squire Wisman.
Allie, will you just run down for us? So the cost is estimated up to $14,500, and we've got effectively almost $6,000 left, right? What is the city willing to share? What have they indicated they're willing to share with us in the cost breakdown of the overages? And is that direct cost, or will that be somewhat in kind between our share?
This would be, so the 25% match would be with labor, but then the overage would be cash. So estimated, we don't think we would go over 6,500 in total for the event, and that's just the price of the vendor for disposal. So it depends on what items we get. If we get a lot of propane tanks, those are more expensive, or helium tanks, for example. But I just estimated that we're not expecting, after we split with the city, to spend $3,250 in cash from that. So that's not with the match.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Allie, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Alrighty, next I believe Autumn is with us. You're hiding over there. You've been learning, huh? Everybody, they know where to sit where I can't see them. I was like, where's Autumn?
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Great. What do you have for us?
The first item I have for you is an approval of an option to ground lease county-owned property located at 501 Holmes Street to Winterwood Development LLC. This was on your agenda for the last meeting, but there were some technical issues with the files uploading, so it is back before you. There have been a couple of minor changes. You should have received an updated document, and I'll just point to the changes. On page 1, under item 2, the option to ground lease, the term of that ground lease has been modified from 75 years to 50 years. And then on page 4, under landlord payment number 18, there has been a line added that says, notwithstanding anything herein to the contrary, the tenant's request shall occur in 2027. I think there were some questions last time about sort of the timeline and that kind of thing. So this is an option to lease. We will see a lease agreement in the future, probably around this time next year. The tenant, Winterwood, is applying for LIHTC funding through the KHC, and that process is in the late summer every year, so they'll be going through that process next year. I do think that Josh Robinson with Winterwood is here if you all have questions for him, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Come on up, Josh. I always look in the audience, I'm like, who is that guy back there? So.
Yeah, I stuck out like a sore thumb.
No, that's okay. I appreciate you being here. So Autumn and I had a call with Mike Hines?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you all work together, so.
Yes, Mike is our CEO.
Okay, so I think we pretty much got everything, you know, and Squire Wisman had asked some questions last time, and I'm appreciative that you did because it was helpful, so we could have that conversation. Anything you want to add to this? I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, I think, in your world.
Yeah, it is. You know, we're hopeful for the approval. We look forward to working closely with Franklin County on this project. We think it can be a good project, and somebody mentioned earlier, food and housing are top of the list, and I think this would go a long way to the housing issue that really is everywhere. Right?
So this real quick, and I think it was explained, so hopefully we'll get this approved, and then you all engage with architects, engineers, and then we start getting involved as far as what it actually looks like, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, and how it functions and all that,
yes.
Right? Got anything?
I am so excited that we're getting started on this.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for your work.
We echo the excitement.
Yeah, Squire Wisman.
Yeah, Judge, I just wanted to reiterate some questions that I had from last time, just that we cover them, and I appreciate some of the edits. Maybe you could speak just a little bit to a couple of things. The not amortization, but the ground lease period was for 75 years originally. I expressed some concern that would outlast all of our lifespans, that the ability for local government to keep up with something, especially federal obligations on low-income housing, is cumbersome and ever-changing, and I thought it's going to be problematic for the court to keep its end of the deal for a very lengthy period. 50 years now, is that still necessary? Or, I mean, the amortization period is usually, what, 42 and a half or something, but can you speak to that?
And the reason for that is it really comes down to our investor. The private investor is going to require this period for the stability. We have tried to negotiate that in the past, and 50 is as low as we have seen, and just to be frank, that takes some work with them to get them comfortable with it, and so we will push for 50, and that will, I mean, we've committed to 50, so we will work with the investor to get to that point.
And then Josh, let me ask you this, because I believe I asked Mike this specifically. You
Yes.
all are doing the paperwork.
Yes.
We don't have to do any of it.
No.
So that's a big difference.
And
Yeah.
I mean, from my point of view, the ground lease is, there's no administrative task from your standpoint on this type of ground lease, other than it being in the file.
Provided the entity survives for 50 years, or, you know, I'm just thinking over.
Yeah, I mean, in
what
some,
happens.
in some bad scenario,
Right.
there would be, but given everything goes correctly and luckily Winterwood has had that, not had a situation like that arise in the past, all of the obligations are on us, so, the burden from the county is really just, like I said, this is the main administrative part, is getting to the closing and the design and those things. Once it's placed in service, I don't see a whole lot of administrative tasks.
Yep, all right, thank you. Squire?
Judge, I ask for Max maybe to make sure that the annual rent sum of $10, I wanted just to verify that we could lease or ground lease for an indefinite period of time almost, a property at less than the assessed value effectively. We can, I know for a fact, for economic development purposes, but the question was about housing. I'm just, if anyone could speak to it.
Yes.
All right.
That was deep.
Well, I'll just still say that I'm excited to do something to provide some housing for the community, but I think it still behooves us maybe to figure out a way just to grant the property to the entity over a certain period of time, or maybe at the end of the period or something that
We talked about that, but the way it's laid out and the scoring and how it's all done, he feels like this is the best shot for them to get this off the
For
ground.
sure, to start.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
after the fact, there's a conversation about that, and I just want to continue to bring that up, because, you know, these projects do get tricky, and sometimes the long time period, the retention period and the reporting period is difficult. I've been through it, so.
Josh,
Thanks.
thank you for being with us today.
Thank you all. Thanks so much.
Yeah, happy holidays. All right, Autumn, what's the next one?
All right, our next item is a professional services agreement with Stantec for support services related to the regular MS4 permit compliance and correction of deficiencies related to the State Division of Water audit for the Phase 2 MS4 water permit. So I think you're all aware that we had a state audit from the Division of Water. This fall, we did receive, I think, about 9 deficiencies. We've corrected 2 of those already, and we're working with Stantec to correct the rest of those. This will correct all of them except for 1, which will likely be coming back to you with a request for in the future. We were given 3 years to make that correction. That one is related to mapping our stormwater infrastructure throughout the community. So that will be a significant project that will require a lot of field work, a lot of mapping projects. So that one will be coming back to you, but this project is to kind of do our regular annual reporting, our regular stormwater management, and then also to correct the majority of those audit items. This will require a budget transfer, so you'll be hearing from Amy about that, I think, at your next meeting.
Perfect. Any questions? Squire with?
Autumn, thank you. Could you give us an update to the, when we looked at this in Stormwater Committee, we were talking about they were ready to get going. We got the quote effectively on December 8th, and they have a start date effectively December 15th. So how much is that going to push back the schedule, and are we going to be in compliance with everything, or can they start immediately to start mitigating some of the issues here through the holidays? And just
We should still be on track.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and then you have one more,
One
Autumn?
more.
I'm excited about this one. Not saying I'm not excited about your other one. That came out wrong.
All right. My last item for you today is an approval of an amended service agreement with iWorks for software as a service, including training, implementation, and a 3-year term of service related to establishing an online planning and zoning module. You'll recall that I came to you a few months ago for a similar request. This is a request to amend that. As we have started the process with iWorks to take our planning and zoning applications online and that review process online, we found that the existing permit software that we were using for building inspection and electrical inspection could be better utilized as part of this project. So this is a contract that sort of merges those 2 existing contracts and gives us an additional online portal for the permit side of things. happy to answer any questions that you may have. This is an additional $1,500 a year for our iWorks program.
I'm extremely excited about this. It's gonna make your office that much more efficient, and Squire Sebastian.
And, thank you, Judge.
Yep.
And just for everyone's edification, this is a reduced rate
Yeah.
that we're getting to add this on. So, our staff negotiated really well
Yep.
to add something that was necessary at a reduced rate on.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you.
for pointing that out. Squire Blackburn.
I just want to add anything that can streamline and automate the service of it and the user-friendliness of it and how your office uses it with the public. I think it's
Great,
Absolutely.
great thing that's been a long time coming.
Yeah, we're really excited.
Squire Hood.
So I just want to make it clear, there'll be drop-down boxes, like say you need a inspection or re-inspection or whatever, you could go do it all online instead of having to make the phone call. It'll be
That's the
automatically
hope.
scheduled. That's what I want to do. Thank you very much.
Amen. We've been pushing it, Squire.
Just wanted to ask you one thing, Autumn, about the process and procedure. We have a limitation of 25 megs for an upload for files for individual projects, which we know some large projects are going to easily exacerbate the capability of the system. So I just wanted you to verify that we're not going to transition completely to a digital system. We're going to be able to have both options still available.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Just for those that
Sure.
may have cumbersome or not like that kind of system. So thank you.
Autumn, thank you. Appreciate all your work on all these things. They're big.
So
Really,
there'd
if you
be
step
no
back and look at all
layoff.
three of these items,
Right.
they're big. So thank you. All righty. Amy, looks like you're gonna take the show for the next couple minutes.
So for the treasurer's report, I have the report for the 5 months ending November 30th, so I want to give a brief summary on that. Receipts are $13.1 million, expenditures $21.5, adding in the fund balance from June 30th of '25, that gives us a balance of $21.1 million. And then I've also enclosed the revenues and expenditures as of December 12th. I do want you to note, thank you to our sheriff's office for bringing us a check. We have 5.9 in real property taxes. Today I received a check for 1.8 for the sheriff's payroll reimbursement.
Oh, Sheriff's really buttering you up, huh? Look at that.
Makes me happy.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Oh, she was when we took her the
I
check
did.
the other day. I mean, you thought it was Christmas Day.
I went and saw her this morning, she was stuck up on her desk. She had a big smile too,
Squire Blackburn, did you have your hand up? Do you have something to say? Ask.
It's coming.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw something. Go ahead.
The next agenda item is cash transfers. The road, jail, fire, capital improvement are in need of a cash transfer from the general fund. And cash transfers are budgeted. They don't increase or decrease the overall budget.
Okay. And next.
When we did our budget, we budgeted for a 3% pay increase, so this is just bringing it before you to vote on. It will go into effect on the January 16th, 26 pay date.
Okay. Next. Sorry, am I moving too fast?
So I want to give you an update on our investments. The court has approved over time. We have $16.6 million invested with maturities spanning from February to September of 2026. The rates range from 3.75 to 4.3%. Current rates, if you've checked on those, they're much lower than that. So they're around just over 3%. So investments include the general fund, opioid, capital, and ARPA. And they're all strategically invested to mature when we need them.
Squire Blackburn.
Can you tell me to date how much interest we've earned on the investment?
I noticed everybody perked up when this agenda item. Everyone kind of moved up in their seats a little bit. I was
Yeah.
watching them.
So to date, with CashFest, we've earned $1,089,394 in interest. We would have been earning interest anyway, so that amount, that's important to remember. We were earning interest anyway. We are just earning it at a higher rate.
So we made $1 million.
Yes.
Is that February through September, or is that
So
calendar
this is
year?
when we began with Cash Fest.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
And so this agenda item, since we have had the revenues come in for property taxes, I'd like permission to open another CD for $3 million. A 3-month for $3 million.
Okay. Squire Wisman.
Amy, I'm kind of, well, one, I just want to say, we kind of had an odd year. We had some money that we've had from bonds and other things that we've been able to allocate, sort of the time value of projects being completed and all that. So interest rates are coming down. We're going to be pulling money down to finish up projects. The community should not expect that we're going to have an extra $1 million of just found money next year, perhaps. Maybe something happens and interest rates go crazy and we do better than we think. But does Cash Fest give us any kind of performance metric or sort of evaluation of our past and what we could potentially have in the future, given our cash flows over a year span? Or are they doing, now that we've kind of been in so long, are they giving us any projections of what we could have in returns based on some average rates or something over a longer period so we can budget with that next
I will
year?
ask, I meet with them quarterly,
Yeah.
and I'll see what they have available, and I'll provide that to you all.
I was wondering, if we could have some kind of base metric to look at for next year, that we have so much guaranteed if we invest this amount over a period of time on a certain interest rate or
I mean,
something.
it is hard to do since we
is,
don't know the
yeah.
interest rates, but that is why this works for us, because right now the interest rates are 3.2, 3.3, but I have investments that are through September of 2026 earning 4.25. So, we're looking forward and having that money invested. You're right, we're spending down on our projects. The bond money is not included in these investments. That is something separate. But any of the ARPA, anything that we are spending down, of course, we're not going to be investing. So you're correct. And we've talked about that probably every time we've talked about this, that this is not going to be every year. But we're going to do the best that we can.
Thank you, Amy. All righty, next, I believe, is payment of claims. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments for Kim on any payment of claim? All righty, authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.8101F, discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All right, we're going into closed. Thank you. Motion to return back into open session.
Second.
Did you get that, clerk? Yes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, we're in open session. Next item is the authorization to hire a human resource director. Any questions, concerns, comments on that agenda item? Seeing none, we're gonna move on. All right, these next ones are basically have everything to do with our admin code. We've been working on the admin code, I think, for over a year. It was sent to the court twice. Obviously, today is just the first reading, so if there's any concerns, questions, comments, that would probably be for the next meeting. Does anybody on the committee want to say anything? It has been a long journey getting here, and hopefully, after we get this one done, we're gonna turn right around with the personnel, because we've made a bunch of good changes for the positive on that one. But go ahead, Squire Sebastian, or
You wanna
Squire
say
Tanner.
anything
I
first,
will
or
yield to Squire Sebastian, and then I'll make comment.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you, Judge.
Yep.
We're all aware that KRS 68.005 mandates every county fiscal court in Kentucky to adopt a comprehensive county administrative code. And the purpose of that code is to promote efficient administration and to establish standardized procedures for county government. The statute identifies several core areas that have to be addressed. That's general administration, fiscal affairs, budgeting, fund management, record keeping, personnel administration, purchasing, contracting, and the delivery of all county services. So under the statutory framework of 68.005, the Franklin County Fiscal Court is responsible for establishing county policies, priorities, and formally adopting the administrative code. So the county judge executive, as we are aware, serves as the county's chief operating officer, charged with organizing and managing administrative functions and implementing the policies of the fiscal court. And as part of those duties, the judge submits the proposed administrative code to the fiscal court for consideration and approval. So what we have before us today represents the first reading in that formal adoption process. So Franklin County's current administrative code is 102 pages, plus there are numerous forms. So that takes us close to 115 to 120 pages. The immediately preceding fiscal court undertook the important step of codifying and indexing all county ordinances and making them available online. That included the administrative code, this code. But it is broken up in sections rather than handing you a 120-page document now. You have to go specifically look for different sections in there. Section 30.043, section 30. Et cetera, et cetera. So to the judge's point, since 2023, revision of the administrative code has appeared as an agenda item at 17 Administrative Services Committee meetings. In addition to the committee members, which is the judge, Squire Tanner, and myself, departmental leadership and staff actively participated in the review process. These departments provided input, recommendations, and practical guidance on how the administrative code is used to promote efficient administration and establish standardized procedures across all county operations. Participants throughout that process were consistent for a large number of those meetings. The Human Resources Director, our Fire Chief, Brian Brewer was there. There were a couple of times that Captain Chris Daniel came to meetings. The Road Department was consistently there. The jail had representatives there. Planning and Zoning attended. The Treasurer was at meetings. The Grants Administrator, current and former. Accounts Payable staff, Squire Westman, you were at one of the meetings. So the draft personnel section of the administrative code that is sent out to everyone consists of 54 pages. And that was provided to the court for informational purposes by the county HR director via an email on June 6th of 2025. It was distributed in 3 formats at that time. Codified version without section citations, a merged red line draft, and an existing codified version. The purpose of providing those multiple formats, as explained by our HR director, was to ensure maximum transparency and to allow the existing code to be reviewed side by side with the proposed draft for ease of comparison. The HR director followed up in person at the June 24th, 2025 Fiscal Court work session to ask whether members had questions, comments, needed any clarification, and invited suggested changes that could be incorporated into a revised draft for our collected review. No suggested changes were submitted or discussed with HR since June 24th of 2025. On July 3rd of 2025, I transmitted an additional 31 pages to the court for informational purposes only, covering the remaining draft sections of the administrative code. That excluded the personnel section, which you already had, and again was provided on June 6th and June 24th. And it's clearly stated in that transmittal, no discussion was to occur outside of a public meeting. The draft was provided solely to allow members to begin reviewing and familiarizing yourself with the content prior to formal discussion before the court, which we're going to kick off today. So to give just a little additional context, the timeline for the revision process extends even farther back. September 5th of 2023, so let me just say that again, September 5th of 2023 was 835 days ago. Several subsections of the administrative code were identified as needing immediate updates to align with current practices rather than waiting for today, the full revision process to start. February 7th of 2024 was 680 days ago. Squire Wisman attended an Administrative Services Committee meeting, and among other topics, and I think Captain Daniel was in that meeting as well, participated in discussions regarding two very critical subsections of the personnel portion of the code that were again identified by staff as requiring prompt updates to address workplace needs. So the administrative code is vital to the operation of county government, and it's a statutory requirement for every county to have. This is not something new that has dropped out of the air because we just want to do it. It is a requirement. Franklin County has been deliberate and methodical in its approach, seeking input from departmental leadership, working closely with our human resource professionals throughout our process. And we have provided draft materials to members of the court well in advance of moving for formal action, beginning today. At every stage, members of the Administrative Services Committee have expressed appreciation for staff's forward thinking, their attention to detail, and their commitment to ensuring the administrative code is practical, it's compliant, and it's responsive to the operational needs of our county government. So I take this opportunity to again reiterate that appreciation so that there is no confusion regarding the transparency of this almost 1,000-day process or the depth of staff involvement throughout that process. So thank you, Judge, for letting us talk a little bit about the practical nature of the process.
Thank you very much. Squire Tanner, you had your hand up?
I just want to make a few comments to back up what Squire Sebastian said, and I'm making a couple of, to make this, the administrative code it sets up rules of how the fiscal court operates, how it conducts business, how it buys things, how it bids things, how, all down the list. It's strictly set up and mandated by state law that we have orderly rules to use. So we'll know how there's going to be many reasons why. As she pointed out, we had many staff members coming in and talked to them and asked them and listened to them, and they were never ignored. Every time, every comment they had to say was took under consideration and discussed with them most of the time, and I don't know that there was any suggestion that they gave us that we just completely did not do anything. It was a lengthy process, and as she pointed out earlier, it was sent out several times. Everybody had an opportunity to look at it. Max, our county attorney, has reviewed that and put it in a ordinance form that we can adopt and get on with the show. It's been some 25 years, I believe, since we've had an extensive revision or upgrade. Upgrade is a better word. Stock laws have changed in the last 25 years. Many of them have changed. They have not been adopted in the code. It will be after this is the best we could. I first take my hat off to the people who worked on this. Kim Cox did a great job of putting this into an ordinance method, and as Max had instructed her to do. But anyway, it's a great job. And I've read it over again and many times. You can't imagine how many times we've reviewed it and changed things, because it's been more than once. And with that being said, I will shut up. Thank you.
No, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody on that committee. It's been a long journey getting here. You know, most of the KRSs were obsolete anymore. It's been so long since it was really updated. And I do want to thank Max and Kim especially, because they worked very, very hard on this. And I just want to remind everybody, so per KRS, we have to open it once a year. Typically, it's in like June or July that we open it up for discussions, but it can be opened at any time. I have to be the one to do it, but I can assure you that if the court says, hey, we want to look at this section, or we might tweak this, whatever, I'm fine to open it at any time. So I'm just glad we're here. It's been a long time to get here, and again, I just want to remind everybody today is just the first reading. So any other questions, concerns, or comments before? Go ahead, Squire Blackburn.
I just want to let you know I need to leave.
Yep.
But I'm going to continue the meeting on Zoom as soon as Andrew lets me in.
Okay, just remember you have to keep your, because we're going to go into voting, so you just need to have a camera on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Squire Wisman.
Judge, thanks. Well, I want to say, I won't grandstand, but I want to say thank you to everyone who worked on this. I think it's been a heavy lift. We've talked about it since we came into office, and you know, the current code says that we'll re-adopt or edit or amend every year.
Yep.
This is the first time we've got to it because it's such a lengthy project. But I also want to state that until something comes to an agenda, like it is today, we as a body don't get to consider anything. You know, it's great to have a committee working on something, but for all of us to have input into a document or an edit, in my mind, could violate the Open Meetings Act of Kentucky. So when it comes to a full court like this is our first time to edit and amend. I've been asking, and we were promised multiple meetings that we would go into just this, to be able to, as a body, to come together and go through and edit and understand topics. And I think that's where we are now, and I'm appreciative that we now have this time to do that. But I'll reiterate that, you know, the public and our employees especially, the employees live by this code, and we don't have any place that this is published in draft form for anybody to download or understand. So of course, you know, I sent it out yesterday because I think that's transparent, that we should be able to have documents. We should have copies in the front, quite frankly, of every meeting, of every ordinance that we're considering, for the public or our employees to grab and read through and follow along with us. And I'd like to challenge us maybe to start doing something online where we can publish all of these. I've had some trouble with my iPad specifically, our new devices lately, that I've had to go around 3 different ways to be able to access documents lately. And I want to have an easier ability to do that. I shouldn't have to go, you know, around some which way for a document that really should be public. So, so that was the purpose in sending out this and those edits. And now I think it's prompt time for this body as a whole to consider the proposed edits that the committee has made, and to evaluate those and to understand and make sure that our community and our employees understand exactly what these changes are going to do, because this is a drastic revision and it needed to be done. And I appreciate Squire Sebastian and Squire Tanner for spending so much time and walking through it, and Kim for re-editing on top of that. But I think it's pertinent on us at this point in time to walk through this, make sure everyone understands exactly what this does and what is removed and what's being moved out of one part of the code into the other part. Today we're considering the administrative section, not the employee section so much. Some things were being moved out of this one and into that one. But you know, just for everyone's purpose, we need to walk through every bit of it. And it seems like there's a bit of a rush today, but I think we need to walk through exactly what every section does for our employees' benefit, to understand exactly how this impacts them and what changes are impacting the community. So again, this is for a first reading, I understand, but the time to make any changes and to consider as a body, legally, as a 7-member body, to have input onto these documents, to edit them as we see appropriate, now that they've come forward from the committee. I appreciate that they came forward, and I've expressed concern the entire time for us to have edits as a 7-member body outside of a court meeting where we're all pulled together could conflict the open meetings and open records laws. So I have not provided any edits to this point because I have expressed multiple times that I thought that conflicted, and I'm excited now to be able to have those edits and to walk through things. And I don't have a tremendous amount of edits. I have more some general questions. So if we walk through it today, or however we proceed from here on, it's now, I suppose, a publicly published document that everyone can have access and ask questions finally. Prior to this date, it's been a draft without the input of the entire court, right? So, thanks.
I don't know where you've been, but I've had this since June. And I've been able to read it since June. I've been able to understand it since June. And then we got another edit in July. So.
And 2 days ago.
And I've had it since June. I've had it. You've had it in your email. It's been sent. So to come out and say you didn't have it or you couldn't make your edits is a total lie, because it has been stated numerous times. If you have anything to add, you have a copy of it. If you have anything you want to say, you have a copy of it. Please make your notes and get back with the committee. And that was court-wide. That was not just me, not just you. That was court-wide. So to sit here and say that you didn't have the opportunity, that's not true. You had every opportunity. And I don't agree with the route that's been taken. This isn't here to hurt anybody. This is how we operate our government. There's nothing in here. I mean, we changed words like CJE to take out county judge executive. We've made things shorter. It's more user friendly. But to say that you didn't have the opportunity is not true. And that's where I'll end what I've got to say.
Squire Tanner, you had your hand up. No. Oh, I'm sorry, Squire Dykes.
Okay. So I'm just gonna be really, really honest and blunt, because I was really upset when I got multiple phone calls yesterday morning. People were confused. They don't do what we do. They don't necessarily know much about this document or the KRS. That they don't know. And so what I heard yesterday morning for a couple of hours, that's how many phone calls I got, was that now people are suspicious, they're worried, they don't understand why this went out and why the email said what it said. They're concerned. And I think, you know, I am all about, always, the public knowing what we do in this room. Always. It is super important to me. But the way it was done, I just feel like was confusing and unhelpful for people. You can look it up online. I did it. You can see what the administrative code currently says. You can certainly reach out to us and ask us to make changes if you choose to do that. People don't do that. I'm just concerned that we have now just made people feel confused and distrustful of us. And I don't appreciate that at all. I think this could have been done in a different, more positive way than it was done. And I really would have appreciated if you had at least told us that you were going to do it, so that yesterday morning when I started getting calls, I would know what to say, but I didn't even know about it yet because I hadn't looked at my email yet. So I just, you know, I feel like the people who are making these changes, number one, I think that every single one of us on this court has something valuable to add. We're all good at different things, which makes it a great court, I think.
Absolutely. We
really are. This, not my thing. I mean, I looked at it. I looked at, you know, the revisions. It's not what I do. It's not what I'm good at. And I appreciate that the 2-3 people that worked on it are good at this. Like, this is your thing. This is what you do. It's what you've done for years. And I appreciate that. I don't expect you to understand what I do. But I'm good at what I do. And I always appreciate that you all listen to me and you take what I have to say into consideration when we're making decisions. I just feel like this was done, I don't want to call it a stunt, but it almost feels that way because now we're looking at election time. And I don't want this court to proceed like that at all. I don't think it's helpful. And I think it makes people distrust us. That's all I'm
Thank you,
saying.
Squire. Squire Tanner.
I just want to say, I said this a while ago and I'll say it again. The administrative code is a mandate that we set up rules for us, the fiscal court, to operate under. Period. That's what it's all about. From buying property to negotiating bids to cost overruns to everything. It has nothing to do except how we're going to conduct business. And for things to get leaned in one way or another without, as you very well pointed out, it's people don't understand sometimes what we do. They need to, and as Sherry pointed out, we've been working on this for 800 days. And I think the statute says we got to review it every year. It didn't say we had to change it every year.
That's correct.
To say we had never done it, I ain't been here for 25 years, number one, but we've looked at it and decided along the way that this had to be done. And we have done it. It's listed here, and maybe we're all out of order here, I don't know.
okay.
Because
I want
it's the
everybody to
first
speak.
reading.
Yep.
But
It's just
anyway,
first
I'll shut
reading.
up, I'm sorry, thank you.
No, and I appreciate everybody's comments, and I think we're all on the same page here. But this is and I know, Squire, typically the public gets input in this and the other, but in this case, this is really our code and how we function. And all the department heads being there, that's why they're department heads. They represent their teams. Now, they went back, they talked to their teams, they brought things back and forth. It was an ongoing process. So I do think that everybody's been represented here very well. And Sherry, Squire Sebastian, I appreciate you reading those things off, because it has been a long journey. I forgot a lot of those things. So, but again, today's first reading. Let's go ahead. I talked to Max. This is just first reading, so we'll look at revisions if anybody has any on the next court meeting on January 7th. Is that right, Kim?
Yes.
Well, okay, so that's how I'd like to proceed from this point on. So we'll go ahead. I don't think there's any need to read through all these right now unless somebody wants to. Oh, yeah, Squire.
Judge, I just want to rebut a couple of things. I am not saying in any way that I didn't have these documents. I'm saying this court has never as a full body considered this yet. This is the first time they've been brought forward to us in an ordinance form, and I was promised on 4 separate occasions over the last 6 months that we would have a dedicated meeting to walk through all of these changes so we could talk about them as we do with every ordinance and document about what our concerns are, what's the reasoning in this change or that change. And we haven't done that. I'm not saying that anything is improper or undue, but we have not done that as a full body yet. And I've said in every one of those instances where I asked for that special meeting that I wanted that meeting so we could walk through this as a whole body. And if it took a while, fine, so that we could all have proper input. We can't all sit in a separate committee as a 7-member body and make edits. And I've said expressly multiple times that I thought for us to send edits to a document that was preliminary, that a committee was working on, would potentially violate the Open Meetings Act. And you all could all disagree with me. Everyone could disagree with me, but this is the way that I want to do transparency. And, we have a first reading of these ordinances. Typically, with any other ordinance, we would walk through them right now and state, what do you have to edit? There's a missing period or a space or whatever else. And there seems to be some desire not to do that. But regardless, these documents, once they come to our agenda, are public documents. They are now able they're supposed to be able for the public, for anybody to download, review, edit. We've got to do better about making sure things are publicly accessible. But when I'm getting calls about what's on this agenda, I've never seen any of this. At some point, and this has not been, these draft edits have not been made accessible publicly to anybody.
But for KRS, they're available after today.
After today, right.
And
That's what I'm stating.
And I think what you're hearing from your
That's what I'm
colleagues is
stating.
they're a little upset about the email that went out to all county employees yesterday, making it look like we're trying to do something we shouldn't be doing. This is our code and how the fiscal court functions.
I wanted to get ahead of the calls I was getting already, that these documents that are on our agenda to be considered tonight or today were not available for them to review in any way.
Because they're available today.
Anything with them. They're the first reading, so everybody will see them, so now they can get
So now they're
published.
gonna be publicized after today.
Right, and typically the first reading is when we're making edits to items, but now we can
No.
make edits to the second
We
one.
make them before the
We'll-
second
we'll-
reading. Squire Tanner.
We'll just disagree.
Okay,
Yes, I do have one comment, and I didn't have this until Squire here brought it up. If we want to do what he says do, let's end the committee system now.
Be done with it.
I would
Be
fine
done with it,
that,
because
quite
then-
frankly.
Point of order, Judge.
Yep.
Get back to our.
Yes.
Yep, let's
that's
get back to
correct.
the agenda. Thank you, Squire. Yep. Okay, so we are going to do any revisions or comments, concerns on our next meeting on January 7th. And I would like to go ahead into voting session right now. Clerk, please call roll.
Squire Sebastian. Here. Squire Blackburn.
He just answered, his bike's off.
Yeah, he's there.
Squire Dykus.
Here. That's right.
Squire Harrod.
Here.
Squire Tanner.
Here.
Squire Wisman.
Present.
Judge Mueller.
Present, thank you, clerk. Authorization for approval of minutes from the regular meeting of December 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the sheriff's participation in the state advance program for calendar year 2026.
So moved.
Second. Go ahead. Squire Dyke.
Squire Dykus. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve sheriff's lump sum fee officials budget for calendar year 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve sheriff's annual order setting maximum amounts for deputies and assistants for calendar year 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve change order number 3 to bid package number 3 relating to asphalt paving for the redevelopment of the Franklin County Road Department complex.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a contract with McNamara & Jones for title services associated with Franklin County NRCS EWP buyout program.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the following of a supplemental application for the 2025-2026 Household Hazardous Waste Management Grant Funds with the Kentucky Energy Environmental Cabinet Division of Water Waste Management.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an option to ground lease county-owned property located at 501 Home Street to Winterwood Development LLC.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an amendment agreement with Stantec for support services related to regular MS4 permit compliance and correction of deficiencies related to the State Division of Water audit for Phase 2 MS4 water permit.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an amendment agreement with iWorks for software as a service, including training, implementation, and a 3-year term of service related to the establishment of online planning and zoning module.
So moved.
Second. Oh, let JW have it.
JW
Second,
had
I'm
that one.
sorry.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
Squire Tanner. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve cash transfers for fiscal year 2025-2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a 3% pay increase for employees under direct supervision of the county judge executive and in the following departments: county judge's staff, county attorney's office, coroner's office, human resource, planning and zoning, maintenance, IT, dog warden, treasurer, occupational tax, friend of the court, community development, solid waste, park, road, jail, and fire.
So moved. Second.
All right, did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to authorize the treasurer to open the following certificate of deposit of $3 million for 3 months on behalf of the fiscal court to improve investment earnings.
So moved. Second.
Did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny any claim? No motion was made. Let the record reflect claims are to be paid. Authorization to hire Francis Short as a human resource director.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. This is the first reading of ordinance amending the general administration section of Chapter 30 Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.001, 30.002, 30.003, 30.004, 30.005, 30.006, and 30.007, A, B, C, D, E, and F. No vote will be taken at this time. First reading, I think Kim's messing with me here. First reading ordinance amending the Financial Administrative Code on Sections 30, Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.020, 30.021, 30.022, 30.023, and 30.024, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. No vote at this time. First, reading on the ordinance amending the purchases and contract section under Chapter 30, Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.115, 30.116, 30.117, 30.118, 30.119, 30.120, 30.121, 30.122, 30.123, 30.124, 30.125, and 30.126, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. No vote at this time. First reading ordinance amending the delivery of county services to road department section, chapter 30, administrative code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.135, 30.136, 30.137, 30.138, and 30.139, A, B, C, and D. No vote at this time. First reading ordinance amending administrative code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances, Chapter 30, to add language under subsection boards and commissions 30.140 and 30.141, A, B, C, and D. No vote at this time. First reading of an ordinance amending the operation of county fiscal court section of Chapter 30, Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.150, 30.151, 30.152, 30.153, 30.154, 30.155, and 30.156, and 30.157, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. No vote at this time. First reading ordinance amending the administrative code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances, Chapter 30, to add language under new subsections county services 30.159, 30.160, 30.161, 30.162, 30.163, 30.164, 30.165, 30.166, 30.167, 30.168, and 30.169, A and B. No vote at this time. First reading ordinance amending the other county policy, section 30, administrative code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.170, 30.171, 30.172, 30.173, and 30.174, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and M. I'm going to start singing that one. Yeah, that was a good one. No vote at this time. First reading ordinance amended administrative code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances, Chapter 30, to add language under new subsections county investment policy 30.175, A and B. No vote at this time. First reading an ordinance of amending the chapter code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances, Chapter 30, to add language under new subsections Internet Policy 30.176A. No vote at this time. Last agenda item, authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the submission of an application to the Kentucky Division of Local Governments Accountable Development Fund, ADF grant to provide matching funds for the NRCS Emergency Watershed Protection EWP program and execution of all required agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Before we adjourn, I want to wish everybody a happy holidays. Squire Tam, do you have something?
I do have on other business, the resolution that was given to us by Penny Peebler. We need to adopt that sometime.
Okay, we'll make note of that, yeah. Alrighty,
Judge,
Squire, what's
just other business, if I can, just quickly. Judge, I just want to challenge us and ask that we find a way to start publishing all of our documents publicly on our website.
And they should be, but this isn't legally published until it was first reading, so we wouldn't put a
Anything
draft
that's on our
there.
agenda to be considered is to be published as a document, so somehow I'm sure we can make that happen. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to,
It will be uploaded after today.
not just the agenda,
Yeah,
everything. from now on.
everything should be, yep. If you find there's something not, please let us know. Alrighty, again, happy holidays to everybody watching. Please be safe. It's been a great meeting and a great year. We've gotten a lot accomplished, and I appreciate everyone here. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you, Court.